Mr. Singhal from ASSOCHAM, Additional Secretary in the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Ms. Himani Pandey, Joint Secretary, Ms. Nidhi Kesarwani, all the distinguished friends who have joined us from far and across the country and from different departments of the Government of India and the state governments, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. Truly a momentous occasion as we are once again rededicating ourselves to the Make in India program launched by Prime Minister Modi on 25th September 2014. This time we decided we'll keep the celebrations over 1 week or 10 days, starting from today, so that we can take this message across the country. Because usually we have a one-day program and it remains restricted to a few limited engagements, largely in Delhi. Our idea was we also wanted to release the commemorative coin which has been pending for some time. We had so many other outcomes of the various studies and effort put in by both the industry department and the commerce department over the last few months, which we thought will be very useful for industry to study and give us feedback and help us in our own effort to make logistics more competitive, address the issues around cost of doing business in India, ensure that the HSN code system is well known to everybody. People can start knowing better which is the line ministry with which you have to work for your respective HSN codes. And therefore this initiative to map each HSN code with a line ministry in the Government of India also helps us in our FTA negotiations. So we know really who is the stakeholder who can help us address the challenges or any problems or what is good for the country when we are doing our FTA negotiations. The logistic data bank, that's always the risk of allowing a hybrid meeting. And after so many years since COVID, I thought we would know how to mute the system. The logistics data bank will also help us understand where we stand in terms of available facilities, available infrastructure. The integrated state and city logistics plan, an initiative under the SMILE program, along with the ADB for 8 cities across 8 states, is just the beginning. We would like to emulate that across the country. As you are aware, NICDIC and Rajat Saini, the CEO, is here. NICDIC is working actively on 20 plug-and-play industrial parks, smart cities, 4 of which are completed, 4 the work has actively started, and another 12 are at different stages of bidding and tendering out PMCs and contractors to create the necessary infrastructure. We also have 7 PM Mitra parks which the Textile Ministry is spearheading. The first of which in Madhya Pradesh, Dhar district, the Honorable Prime Minister launched and did the Bhumi Puja on 17th September, 75th birthday of Prime Minister Modi, which we celebrate as Seva Divas. And across the country we saw lakhs and lakhs of projects of public service being initiated and will continue until the 2nd of October when we celebrate Mahatma Gandhi's Jayanti. In fact, in my own small area in Mumbai, we had 122 public service programs, just in one small constituency, and all led by the people. No government initiative in that. And that was the kind of enthusiasm we could see. And across the country, we are seeing a lot of initiatives around cleanliness, around public health, around supporting the education infrastructure, sports, various initiatives across the country. I think all this effort to promote the Make in India program has started yielding results. We just came back, many of us in this room were in UAE for the last 2 days, 18th and 19th. Almost 75 plus captains of industry, different sectors, textiles, marine fisheries, pharmaceuticals in a big way, leather goods, all of them converged in this 2-day visit. And I promise you it was very, very fruitful. The excitement in the Gulf region, particularly in UAE, was palpable. The Bharat Mart is coming up by early 2027, which will give all of us, particularly the MSMEs, an opportunity to showcase our products, have warehousing facility, have quick logistics from there, to be able to supply across the globe, particularly African continent, Asian subcontinent, Southeast Asia, East Europe, all the areas which often converge in the UAE as a marketplace. And with the current enthusiasm we are seeing, 9,000 plus people have registered for, have expressed their interest in taking up place in Bharat Mart. They are building 2.2 million square feet, but they've already provided for a second phase, which I think will come in faster than we can imagine. And the whole Jebel Ali area where this Bharat Mart is coming up is getting such fantastic connectivity through metro, through a new airport coming up in the vicinity, larger than Dubai airport, through port connectivity and the free trade zone, that I really can see a lot of potential in that initiative, in that region. We have crossed $100 billion bilateral trade between UAE and India after the FTA. And in this visit at the high-level task force on investments, we have reset our target that in the next 3 to 4 years, we will do $100 billion of non-oil, non-precious metal trade with the UAE. And of course, I'm not going to do that. All of you are going to do that. I must also mention that the Make in India program has been given a huge thrust by the reforms in the GST, in the indirect taxation, right through since 2017. We are all aware that governments in the past spoke about converging these 30 or 35 different taxes and levies and duties and different kinds of government revenues that were having a cascading effect on our trade and business, multiplier effect of each of these taxes. So we are all aware at the factory we paid excise duty. Came out of the factory, we paid sales tax, not only on the goods but on the excise duty also. Then we had, if we transported it into a city, we would pay an entry tax or an octroi. All through the country there were check nakas and toll nakas to ensure that if there's any interstate movement, we had central sales tax. I remember as a young entrepreneur in my teens, C-form was the biggest headache, and reconciliation of C-form Very often we forget all these things. जब अच्छा कुछ चीज आ जाती है तो पुरानी प्रॉब्लम्स भूल जाते हैं. पर आपको याद होगा सी फॉर्म क्या हेडेक होता था, और फिर 8 साल बाद कोई सेल्स टैक्स ऑफिसर उठ के आए, सी फॉर्म रिकंसिलिएशन शुरू करो, नाइटमेयर. मोर ऑफन देन नॉट वी वुड लैंड अप पेइंग के यार पूरा ही टैक्स ले लो. अब कहाँ ढूंढेंगे वो कौन बायर था, किधर है, उसके पास भी रिकॉर्ड नहीं है. Backdated C forms were a problem, and then we had to settle. You know what I mean by settle. But governments could not get the consensus that was required to implement a single tax in lieu of so many multiple taxes. And I don't think there will be anybody either on the screen or in this room who will deny that it took a decisive leader, a leader whom even opposition ruled states could trust, to actually converge all these taxes, guarantee to the states 14% year-on-year compounded increase growth in GST collection through a compensation cess mechanism. And a large part of that compensation cess was revenue foregone by the center. So I remember as coal minister, we used to collect 40,000 crores, 400 rupees a ton, on all the coal consumed in the steel plants or power plants. That 40,000 crores the center put into the compensation cess, so that we could guarantee the states 14% revenue growth for 5 years. And thanks to the trust that Prime Minister Modi enjoys, we were able to build consensus. All the opposition ruled states, and way back in 17 or between 14 and 17 when we negotiated this, the NDA didn't have the overwhelming majority of states. Many states were still ruled by the opposition. UP, for example, was ruled by Mr. Akhilesh Yadav when consensus on GST was built up. At that point of time, the RJD and their partner were running the government in Bihar. It was not a part of the NDA at that time. And so was the case in many other parts of the country. Kerala, Tamil Nadu, many states. But it was the trust that people had, that states had, that even the opposition had in Prime Minister Modi, that we could converge all these taxes, bring one GST. All the rates had to be aligned with the then burden on industry, because states would not want to forego their taxes. Suddenly we find one young man becoming so much wiser. In fact, the former finance minister also, I was surprised, is making comments that why were these lower rates not implemented in 2017? He doesn't realize that if these rates were implemented in 2017, GST would never have taken off. Because they had to have revenue protection, otherwise states are not going to have built a consensus on GST. So they had to collectively calculate the tax rates at that point of time and start implementing GST. And we are well aware the revenue took time to grow. So government would continue to give compensation to many states. And so much so that during COVID, when there was so much difficulty across the economy, rather across the world, we continued to give 14% compounded growth in GST collection, even during COVID, which kept the states' revenues flowing. Central government actually borrowed and gave money to the states just to make sure that जो वादा दिया है वो पूरा कर रहे हैं. And we all know Modi जो कहता है वो करते हैं. Is that right? He never backs out of a commitment. He promised the nation GST, he brought it in. He promised ease of doing business, he relentlessly is working on it. All these reports today are also an effort towards ease of doing business, to reduce the cost of logistics, improve the availability of transport and infrastructure at the ports, at the airports, highways, expressways, inland waterways, power, digital connectivity, water, all these infrastructures ultimately add up to our business competitiveness and our ability to grow. Stock exchange Nifty, which was 5,400 or 5,700 in 2014, is at what, 25,000 now? And stock exchange looks into the future and then prices itself. We all know that. It is no mean achievement that a fragile 5 economy became a top 5 economy. Will become the third largest by 2027, the third largest GDP. That's thanks to all of you. Thanks to the leadership Prime Minister Modi gave. Thanks to the thrust on strengthening the macroeconomic fundamentals. Thanks to the focus on creating world-class, adequate infrastructure in advance of requirement. In the past, once the roads were clogged, then the infrastructure was built. Once the ports were overburdened, then new ports were built. Once airports ran out of capacity, then we started planning a new airport. Now Jewar is coming up, I'm told next month on the 30th. Whereas we still have capacity in the New Delhi airport. We are anticipating growth. Mumbai, of course, was already overburdened. By the end of this month, the new airport in Mumbai will start, opening up a plethora of opportunities for the state of Maharashtra and for that whole region. Thanks to the Atal Setu, connecting the island city with the mainland. And of course, the amount of infrastructure for those of you who have visited Mumbai, you must have enjoyed the coastal road, which will now go all the way up to Virar, very close to the new Vadhavan port, the largest port in the country, coming up in Vadhavan. The bullet train is coming up between Mumbai and Ahmedabad. The precursor to many more bullet trains and high-speed rails coming up in the country. DFC is operational, both the northern one and the western one. Precursor to hopefully more DFCs coming up in other regions. It's a race to make India a $32 trillion economy when we celebrate 100 years of independence. And the Diwali gift that he had promised on 15th August will be implemented on 22nd September itself. When on the first day of Navratri, I'm sure all of you will pass on the benefit of GST to your customers. I hope I'm not wrong in assuming that, Rajiv ji. I've been reading advertisements from different sectors, different industries, different industry bodies, different companies. Many have started passing on the benefit already without waiting for 22nd. I think auto sector is one sector which didn't even wait for the 22nd. Because it's logical. All of us business people very well understand lower taxes, lower prices gives a big boost to demand. With demand, we grow our businesses. When we manufacture more, economies of scale and high quality that today we are known for help us to create bigger markets, consumer benefits at lower cost. We benefit, industry that is. I think after 11 years in government, I still consider myself as a part of industry only. But industry benefits in a big way. Our competitiveness helps us to export more. Our good quality helps us in creating acceptability for Indian goods and services. In fact, one of the reasons we have stressed so much on continuously lowering taxes. It's not as if the taxes of GST are being lowered for the first time. You will find in meeting after meeting of GST, some or the other products got more rationalized taxes, lower taxes, simplification. As more technology came in, computerization came in, we kept improvising the entire process, integrating the process, focusing on getting the informal economy into the formal economy. I remember in 2018 also, Prime Minister Modi had guided us to reduce taxes, GST in a big way on many products. If you look back, somebody can Google and take out the 2018, you will find a lot of products, taxes were reduced. It's been a continuous process. But this time around, it's a massive reduction on almost every item that the common consumer, the common man uses, the middle class uses, the poor people require. From the moment you get up in the morning, toothpaste, toothbrush, or early morning tea and coffee and snacks, all the foodstuffs have become cheaper. Milk has become cheaper. Milk products have become cheaper. I can't think of anything, watches, clothes, pen, shoes, spectacles, ties, paper products, your health and life insurance, pharmaceuticals. The list goes on and on. I call upon all of you friends across the country, manufacturers, businesses, traders, kindly ensure that we pass on the entire benefit to the consumer. It is for your own good, because your businesses will prosper as you pass on this benefit to the common man. And friends, while it is our job to monitor, but I don't think we'll have to do much monitoring, because we trust Indian industry and business. Prime Minister Modi, आप पर 100% विश्वास करते हैं. इसीलिए तो जन विश्वास बिल 1 तो आ ही चुका था, अभी 2 भी पार्लियामेंट के सामने पेश हो गया है. Another 355 provisions are being decriminalized. And you know what? When we went to the cabinet to approve this, मुझे डांट पड़ गई. डांट इससे नहीं पड़ी कि आप क्यों डिक्रिमिनलाइज कर रहे हो, डांट इससे पड़ी कि आप क्यों इतना कम डिक्रिमिनलाइज कर रहे हो. And you ask Ms. Pandey, because she looks after this. I came back from the cabinet, what did I tell you straight away? I said, I promised the Prime Minister, हम 1000 और provisions add करेंगे जिसको decriminalize कर सकते हैं. And I think 500 के करीब already identify भी किए. 500 provisions more the department has identified. अलग अलग line ministries को भेजे उनकी सहमति के लिए. मुझे लगता है सहमति आ भी जाएगी. और आइडेंटिफाई कर रहे हैं. वी आर ऑल्सो लाइक दैट वीडियो वी सॉ रेसिंग अगेंस्ट टाइम, क्योंकि जो लोगों को प्रधानमंत्री जी का काम करने का तरीका पता है वो ये भी जानते हैं कि ही कीप्स मॉनिटरिंग, कीप्स रिमाइंडिंग यू, तुमने प्रॉमिस किया था, क्या हुआ उसका आगे. सो वी आर ऑल ऑन मिशन मोड to make it easier to do business in India, to promote manufacturing in India, to support trade and industry, business and commerce, including international trade, so that we can see faster growth in the country. 7.8% in the first quarter. Anybody in the room would imagine we would grow 7.8% in this first quarter? It beat all economists' expectations. And we'll continue to beat them right up to 2047. दुनिया को विश्वास है, ये मैं आपको बता सकता हूं. दुनिया समझती है भारत की ताकत क्या है. ऐसे नहीं है कि पूरे विश्व के अलग अलग देश भारत के साथ फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट भी करना चाहते हैं, भारत से व्यापार बढ़ाना चाहते हैं, संबंध सुधारना चाहते हैं. थोड़ा बहुत हमारे टैलेंट से डरते भी हैं, उससे भी हमें आपत्ति नहीं है। हमारा टैलेंट भारत आके यहाँ इनोवेट करे, यहाँ डिजाइन करे और हमारी अर्थव्यवस्था तेजी से आगे बढ़ेगी। सो वी आर विनर्स कम वॉट में। अपना आत्मविश्वास हमें नहीं खोलना है। वी शुड नॉट लूज फेथ, वी शुड नॉट लूज सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस एंड वी शुड नॉट stay from the path. We should not get defocused from our objective. And 1.4 billion people today, 140 करोड़ का ये सामूहिक संकल्प है भारत को विकसित भारत बनाना। 2047 तक भारत एक 30 से 35 ट्रिलियन डॉलर की इकोनॉमी बने। भारत में हर बच्चा जो पैदा हो वो सुख समृद्धि का जीवन जिए। ईज ऑफ लिविंग उतना ही जरूरी है जितना ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस है। 25 सितंबर वैसे मेक इन इंडिया दिवस के साथ साथ अंत्योदय दिवस भी है। आई डोंट नो हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू नो अंत्योदय, बट अंत्योदय इज अ सिंपल आइडियोलॉजी दैट माय पार्टी, ओरिजिनली द जनसंघ and now the Bharatiya Janata Party, believes in, that Prime Minister Modi believes in. Antyodaya is about Deen Bandhu ki chinta. It was articulated by Deen Dayal Upadhyay, our ideologue. It's about inclusive growth. Antyodaya is about caring for the last man at the bottom of the pyramid. इससे मैंने कहा हम जो मैन्युफैक्चरर्स हैं, हम जो बिजनेस सर्कल के लोग हैं, हम जो नौकरियां देते हैं, हम जो व्यापार और उद्योग के माध्यम से नए अवसर, रोजगार और नौकरियां देते हैं, कारोबार को बढ़ाते हैं, ये हमारा योगदान अंत्योदय की फिलॉसफी से है। इसलिए मेक इन इंडिया दिवस 25 सितंबर अंत्योदय दिवस के रूप में भी हम मनाते हैं। दीनदयाल जी की जन्मतिथि भी है और मेरा मानना है कि हम सब के लिए एक ये बहुत बढ़िया अवसर है टू रीडेडिकेट आवरसेल्व्स टू द मेक इन इंडिया प्रोग्राम। हफ्ते 10 दिन तक देश भर में इसके कार्यक्रम चलेंगे। आई वुड अपील टू ऑल द एसोसिएशंस टू हेल्प अस टेक दिस मैसेज ऑफ कॉन्फिडेंस and vision of Prime Minister Modi to the states, to the union territories. नीचे तक ये मैसेज कैसे जाए, नीचे तक लोगों का आत्मविश्वास कैसे और मजबूत हो, कैसे हम आपसे और आइडियाज मिले। आगे चल के आप सबसे रिक्वेस्ट है कि आप भी लिखित रूप में हमें आइडियाज भेजिए, क्या और हम कर सकते हैं आपके व्यापार और आपके उद्योग को और सरल करने के लिए, कंप्लायंस बर्डन कम करने के लिए, प्रोसेस और प्रोसीजर्स को सिंप्लीफाई करने के लिए जितने आइडियाज दे सकते हो। आपको सिली भी लगे, आपको लगे कुछ ये ज्यादा ही मांग रहे हो तो भी अवश्य दीजिए। प्रोसेस सिंप्लीफिकेशन, प्रोसीजर ईज मेकिंग इट इजियर टू फॉलो दैट प्रोसीजर, पॉलिसीज to become more user friendly, how to ensure ease of doing business and ease of living, both going hand in hand, so that every single citizen of India, and I'm sure you all want only citizens or those who have a valid visa to be in India, घुसपैठी तो नहीं चाहिए ना यहाँ पे। Every single citizen of India should live a good life, high quality life. Every single businessman in India should sleep peacefully at night, do an honest day's job. Every single person who is contributing to your businesses should get fair wages, good treatment, adequate quality of life for his children, support in his healthcare, support in his children's education. When this becomes a collective effort of all of us, it is only then all these initiatives that we are launching, all the work Prime Minister Modi does day and night, every living moment dedicated to the country. Hasn't even celebrated a birthday in his life, ever. 50 years of unblemished track record of public service. 50 years. The best return gift we can give him is to do an honest day's labor, work our industry and business with high quality and high principles, focus ourselves on growth. Within that, ensure that we all pass on the GST benefits to the consumers on 22nd of this month, first day of Navratri. Focus on adding value instead of exporting raw materials, exporting value-added products. Ensure we bring more value addition and technology within India so that we have resilient supply chains. Take brand India to the world. Showcase the India story. Go with confidence. Participate across the world in fairs, in conventions, in seminars. Speak about India. Because there's a lot of people out there who don't yet know the capabilities that you all have, who don't yet know what a wonderful story is unfolding in India. Let us all participate. Let us all become recognized the world over as the oasis in a desert. Let us continue to be the fastest growing economy and take the India story across oceans, across the world, and ensure Viksit Bharat 2047 is our collective vision, is our collective passion, is our collective commitment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for that motivational